It is 6:15 in Statesboro, Georgia. Welcome to Soccer Down here on tour. I have heard a vicious rumor that there are some Tormenta Magenta in the house. Is that correct? Good to be here in Statesboro, Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, thanks to them for hosting us tonight. Thanks to you, Scott Flood, the Flood Project, for making all this happen. This is something that we've wanted to do for a long time. Come on the road, and we are now here in the borough.
Long time. Whoa. Everybody hear me? Am I good? Do I need to talk quieter like this?
Just Scott need to talk quieter.
Seriously, why is everybody telling me to shut up everywhere I go? No, it's great to be here. This is this okay, everybody? Am I coming across too loud? Am I good? You guys are right in the front. You got to hear stuff on the field. I don't need to do that to you. Good? Awesome. I'd be remiss if we said we weren't missing part of our crew tonight. Jason Longshore, play-by-play commentator with Atlanta United, couldn't be here tonight. He is better and doing just fine, but he is recovering from COVID. He's going to be on the road starting tomorrow to go out with United to play the LA Galaxy.
Yep.
So he couldn't make it down here tonight. He is definitely with us, and he is listening in as we speak. So I'm going to try to do my best not to use four-letter words in front of children.
There are some you can use, but not the ones that you're thinking.
Yeah, not the obvious ones.
No,
not the obvious ones. Yeah.
But no, this is going to be a fun night tonight, and thanks to everyone who has turned out tonight to give a salute to Tormenta and everything that they have been building, and I mean this literally and figuratively, over the last handful of years. The growth of South Georgia Tormenta has been something that we've been able to chronicle on a yearly basis to see their growth. And I made a point to take a right-hand turn before the Veterans Parkway. I took an early right, which meant I took a left turn on Old Register, which meant I went past what has been being built over the last handful of years. You see light stanchions up in the air, you see Eagles Corner, you see all of this stuff that has been the brainchild of a gentleman that we will have a little later on.
The one and only.
DVT, Darin van Tassell. He'll be on later in the show to talk about how things have grown to where they are right now. And it's been really cool because I remember we were here when ground was broken on the facility. And to see things getting to the point and growing and growing and growing, it will be fun to talk about that, its growth, the chronicles of what's been going on in USL League One, which, by the way, USL League One, one of the most competitive leagues in soccer, and I don't care what country you're talking about. We have a USL League One show on SDH every week. 5 points, I think, right now, separating 3 through 10 in the table. 5 points. So you have a good week. If you play midweek weekend, you rocket from one place to the other. It's one of the most competitive leagues that we have, and it's great to see what we're seeing out of South Georgia Tormenta this year. Took a few scalps in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. It's good to see that happen for Tormenta as well. But no, it's great to be here, and we've got a full night. We got a full night planned, and I know that you have some things that are planned as well as I step on your audio cable.
Once again, everybody's just trying to mute me tonight. Yeah, I'm extremely excited to be down here. This is something that I personally got to meet Darin last year when we were in Chattanooga and we were doing our show. Jason and I did it, which you ironically were not at. So we're just getting good at this when we go visit the USL teams where I'm the fill-in. But I met Darin last year when we were guests with Sean and everybody up at the Chattanooga Red Wolves team. And we had this idea about how we wanted to really get out and involve USL a lot more in everyday talk and make a much bigger deal out of it because it's going a little bit undervalued, to be quite honest.
Yep.
And talking before we started tonight with Darin, he just came in from Louisville City, where they just had the big USL meetings and the amazing stadium last night. I watched the game between Phoenix Rising and Louisville City last night. What these USL teams are doing is absolutely amazing, and the talent that we can sit here and we're looking at these guys. There's going to be guys in this room that are going to be playing at the top level of this sport soon, and it's amazing to know that these USL teams are putting that effort into doing this, and they're doing unbelievable things. You know, here in Statesboro and everything that's going on, we look at what's happening with Greenville. You look at Chattanooga. You look at Birmingham. These markets are becoming real, unbelievably hotbeds for this sport.
As the saying goes, pros start here, and it happens in a bunch of different ways. And also, last time I checked, you know, we have, like, how many scarves do we have up here?
Roughly 37.
And I only have one of them in Office HD. But I will say this. You see this, the purple scarf here, over here on the edge?
Yeah.
The USL-W scarf?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, I thought that there's a team in Statesboro, Georgia that's playing for a national championship this weekend.
That's right. That's right.
And they are, as we speak, headed toward a plane where they get to fly to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and take on Minnesota Aurora, unbeaten in USL-W. And so you have Minnesota Aurora, and then you have Tormenta on the W side, playing for a first ever national championship in USL-W. So things continue to grow here. Pros start here, pros succeed here. Pros are playing for championships here come this weekend. 6,200 anticipated in Minneapolis, sold out in about 36 hours.
I'm telling you, it's all a prelude to how the women's side of this game has been leading for a long time. Let's just be honest about it. We all know what the women's national team has done for a long, long time, and it is finally starting to pick up on the pro level and be where it should have always been. A lot of the markets are recognizing, putting the actual time and effort that it deserved and should have had all along. And you see what happens. And I mean, this all revolves going right into next summer with the Women's World Cup in Australia. It's an amazing thing for this area, and like in Minnesota, Aurora, to have two teams on the women's side be at the top. They're not teams from some, maybe a major market. It's bringing that women's side of the game to these markets, and that is truly how this game is just growing so much every single second.
So you're going to be busy tonight. Traditionally, when we're on the road, you're very, very busy. Because on your tables, we have a QR code that is available. Explain to me how this works, because you're the guy with technology here.
So there's a QR code. There should be something on some of your tables. There's a QR code where you can hit that code, put your name and email address in there, and you can ask a question that we will do at the tail end of the show. It can be.
We're already getting laughing over here.
We've already heard that there's some saucy questions out there. Now, keep in mind, I see a lot of people laughing over to my right. I do have to go through them and check them. So, it's no, not that one. That's your own stuff. You can buy stuff from yourself. If you want to buy stuff from yourself, get that one. There's some on this table right here and through these tables, and I can get you one. You can ask a question of anybody that's going to be on with us from Tormenta, players, coaches. Darin, I know, wants to talk, so ask away, fire away. But you can ask anything of us with the show, maybe a little Atlanta United, whatever you want to ask.
It doesn't matter.
It can, how much, is Wayne Rooney really going to do in DC with the United? Whatever you want to ask.
That's going to be a tough one.
It can be whatever you want. But also, I do want to kind of put out there, real quick, we're also going to be taking those names and emails, and we're going to be putting them into a database that we will keep in contact with you for this Thanksgiving on Black Friday. The United States, if you didn't know, is playing a little game against England in the World Cup.
I've heard of this, yeah.
And so we in Atlanta are throwing the largest party in the Southeast in downtown Atlanta with the city of Atlanta, with many of the people from Atlanta United, coaches, staff, players, alumni, local media, TV, and so on. And we're going to have all kinds of stuff set up for residents and people like you with Tormenta and Tormenta fans to be able to come up, get hotel deals, and be a part of that party and be a part of everything that we're doing. So put your name into that so that we can keep in touch with you. Ask all the semi-dirty questions you want. They're all for Jon.
I like to set it. Thanks for setting me up there, partner.
Your turn.
Scott Flood of the Blood Project. Scott and Jen have been down here since early afternoon, and it's nights like this that make it fun to be a part of the soccer community that we are here at Soccer Down Here. So the questions literally can be anything, and when we mean anything. I mean, it could be, what's your favorite meal? What's your favorite pasta? Anything like that. It can be that off the wall. That's what the question and answer session's for. And that'll be at the end of the show.
And let me interject real quick.
Yeah.
Whoever gives us the best question, if you are of age, and I'm looking at some of you and I hate you for your youth, but we'll buy you a beer, whoever gives us the best, most unique question. Or, lemonade, whatever you want.
Okay, well then I'll add to it. That if they are of age.
You're touching me a lot.
I am. It's been a while since I've seen you. In addition to the benefits of hanging out with SDH tonight and getting the assistance to their meal that you are willing to give, they will get something out of the SDH store that we will send to them. We need their address as well and their size. So they'll get an SDH t-shirt in addition to, for the most unique question, we need their size, need their address, all that kind of stuff so we can ship it to them. So, SDH gear and assistance with their meal tonight. That is something that you can't
assistant program.
Yeah. So it's a busy show tonight. We're going to tag you out. It's time for EP to
Yeah, we're going to bring somebody up from Tormenta. Where do I see Edwin?
Where's Edwin? Where's EP?
Edwin's going to come up here and he's going to co-host with us for a little while.
EP's going to help run the ship tonight. So send your questions to Scott Flood all night long. Send your questions to Scott Flood using the QR code that you've got there on your desk, on your tables. So what's the word, EP? Oh, is it that? Oh, you got. There you go.
I think it was off.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. There's a yours is the trickier one of the two. Where mine, I can talk the whole time.
Right.
Well, Scott's of course sets you up by turning it off, and that one you got to flick the switch to turn it back on.
I didn't think they wanted to hear my beautiful voice today, so. We'll get to it. But how's it going, John? Thank you for coming down.
It's great to be here. Thanks for all of your help all season long with the USL League One, with Tormenta and everything going on, all the updates that you give us over the emails and stuff. What's it like for you to be trying to grab this comet by the tail in USL League One every week?
I think that it's something very special. I think it's a challenge that I really needed to have, and to meet people like you and everyone else around the USL League One sphere is something that is truly special.
How'd you get interested in A, soccer, and B, South Georgia Tormenta?
Soccer, I played for a while.
Yeah.
I played for a while through college and stuff like that. And
you're a striker, right?
Cam, center attacking midfielder. I'm not Kazaiah Sterling. But no, Tormenta, I got here in November of 2021, following an internship with the Maryland Bobcats, where I met Jake Dengler right there. And then from there, my internship finished, and then I came down here to Tormenta after this. Darin took a chance on me, and I appreciate it.
Let me ask you this, knowing that I know what the answer is. What's an average day like for you, knowing that there is no such thing as an average day in media relations?
I think an average day is expecting the unexpected, in a way. Just being prepared for everything. I mean, we've had certain scenarios going on throughout the season where you just never thought that you'd expect it so far into the season. I mean, I'm not even a year into this professional career, and we have a W League title coming up on Saturday, which is something you can't really prepare for, and but you just learn along the way. I'm grateful to have great leadership to help me with it.
One of the things that I was talking about just a little bit ago is how crazy USL League One is, and it's one of the most competitive leagues out there, where you've got to look over your shoulder the entire season because somebody's sneaking up on you, and you've really got to be on. From your perspective, what's it like having conversations with your fellow communications directors and departments about being in this league and how crazy it can get?
Well, I'll tell you, there's one team out there that doesn't really like us. If you check our TikToks, you'll probably know why. But I think that the communication revolving around the USL League One sphere is very good. I think that everyone respects each other and respects the works that they do. Chattanooga came into town 2 Saturdays ago. They were very respectful. His name is Carlos, Tom staff, and he was just a very good guy that really was passionate about soccer and respectful. I think Brian, one of my coworkers, always told me when I first got in here is don't celebrate when they score goals in the press box. And I had a little bit of trouble with that at first, but now I think it's more about the respect and holding it in until the last
They
minute.
put you on the crow's nest? Did they put you up top?
No, they put some tape on my face, so I wouldn't laugh or scream or do whatever I have to do.
That's not allowed, sir.
It's not allowed.
And you're the one that's supposed to create the sign and post it in the press box, right?
I am, yeah.
No sharing allowed in the press box. Reminder to you and to everyone, like 2 versions. You got to have 2 of them.
Yeah. Also, like one other thing that I have trouble with is coming up with headlines for the match recaps, because you can never say superior. You can never say what's the best team, because next week it might come and bite you. You might be like, oh, this team looks unstoppable, and then you go on and have an unfortunate result. But I mean, it is what it is. You got to choose your wordings wisely before, or else it'll come and bite you later on. Yeah,
and the assistant communications director for everybody in USL League One is a guy by the name of Roger, I'm sure, with his thesaurus to give you all those active verbs.
Yeah.
So, all right, give me a little bit of a preview. There's a home match tomorrow at Irk Russell, North Carolina FC, 3rd time this year. I know that you've already prepared your notes. So for those that don't subscribe to your emails and aren't allowed to subscribe to your emails, what's the EP preview of North Carolina FC?
Well, you have a lot of players that North Carolina has have transferred into their squad from Tormenta. You have Jordan Skelton that played with the team a couple of years ago, and that's just something that you really have to look at. You have to look at the amount of Tormenta identity that's in NCFC. NCFC is a great team. Like you said, there's no team I think that's better than anyone in League One right now. Another thing that's very interesting is how Tormenta, from the first half of the season, pretty much didn't score at home, and now they just started turning it on, and now 5 goals in like 45 minutes, or something like that. And
I'm gonna talk to Ian about that coming up in just a little bit.
I'm not gonna ruin it, but it's just great to see that Tormenta finally got that inspiration to go and get points at home, which is really good to see. Finally scoring goals as well. I mean, you had Jamil score bangers the other day, and everyone just clicking. Kazaiah Sterling getting his first brace. I think NCFC should really be scared about that and coming into this match.
And they've taken a philosophical change over the last little bit, where instead of having veterans and things, they've gone to the academy route.
Right.
They wanted to build from within, and so it's something that we're seeing here in League One and in other franchises. Right. It's that approach of coming from the younger players, keeping them up, and having them grow in the system. Right. And you're seeing what that right now is with North Carolina FC. EP, you are going to be somewhat of a co-host here tonight, so time for you to tag out.
All right.
And now your assignment is to find our next guest.
Who would that be?
I believe it's the head coach of South Georgia Tormenta, Ian Cameron.
I've been to Pride of Scotland. Ian Cameron, come up to the stage.
Ian Cameron to the stage, please. Ian Cameron. Right there. Head coach of South Georgia Tormenta, Ian Cameron, the pride of Mercer University.
Oh, the Bears.
So, have you officially recovered from the 5-5 draw yet?
Yeah. It was an interesting night.
That's a word to use.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been in a match that has been that crazy before? I mean, and I'm talking all the way back to like pickup and youth and like when you're like, 8 years old or anything.
I think our organisation has been part of 2 of the highest draws in League One history. So we did a 4-4 last year. We thought we'd up it by a couple of goals this year and give Greenville a head start and then come back quite comfortably.
It was 2 different matches. It was, and those of us, we were in Atlanta, we were watching the match at Mercedes-Benz, and we're keeping an eye on what's going on. It's 4-0, and then it's 4-2, and then it's 5-4. It was absolutely crazy. How do you keep your composure as a head coach in that kind of an environment that is as nuts as it appeared to be on social media and what we were watching, for those who were watching that match?
Well, look, I think in those instances you have to put your ego aside, and the reality is, as a staff, even when we're 4-0 down, we're still looking out there, watching these boys create chances, and we knew in this group that we could come back. Doesn't guarantee you will, but we knew with these boys it was very, very easy that they could come back in the game and put the sword to them. And so, even throughout it, we still had belief that we could get back in, and getting 2 in the first half was important. The 5th right before half-time was a dagger in the heart. But we challenged the boys to win the second half 3-0, and I feel like undersold them, because they did win the game 3-0 in the second half. If it maybe said 4, maybe it'd have been a bit different. So maybe I should have changed my rhetoric.
All right. So, EP, when it comes to questions and answers here, I don't want to leave you hanging without a microphone. If you have any questions that you have for any of the guests as they come up, go ahead and ask, because you never know. You can fill out your notes. You can use this information going forward. I yield my microphone to you for questions.
Ian, during that 5-5, what I know you said you limited them to 3-0, but what other things that you said that motivated the team or happened that made them want to go and get that comeback?
Well, look, we're in an establishment. There's young babies here. There's young children here. Some of the words that were shared at halftime were probably not PC for this environment. So there was some calm, tactical chat, and then there was some, we'll call it inspirational chat. And that sometimes is a little kick up the backside that these boys need, because they're capable of much more than they were giving, and we just want them to reach their potential, which they did in part.
How important is inner competition for you? Inner competition for you between the team.
Who's my favourite in our competition?
Inner competition between positions for you. How important is it?
Oh, look, inner competition within the squad is massively important. I mean, it creates a good training environment. It creates that edge where people come in the training and say, I'm going to be better than that guy. I'm going to go after him. I'm going to take his job. You know, and the likes of the goalkeeper position, we've got TJ, who's in the last couple of weeks been amazing in goalkeeper. And, you know, he's fighting to get his chance to come into the lineup. We've got, you know, guys like Alex with all the experience that they've had in the league and the performances they've had, and they're breathing down the necks of other guys. So that's what motivates, and I think for the attacking line especially, other people putting up numbers is imperative, and that's the only thing that makes a team successful, and that drive. And this is what we feel is the strongest squad that we've had here at Tormenta. We've been a little bit unlucky with injuries this year again, but at the same time, that competitiveness we have in the squad is imperative to where we are right now, but where we're going to go. That's what's going to drive us to get to the playoffs and make a run for the championship.
But that's what you want. You want the competition day in and day out on the practice pitch. But the fact that it's coming from the academy players in addition to the experienced folks, I think that's what you're looking for in a perfect world. The experience to be gained to mix with the experience that's already there, so you can make that push in this league to chase after a title.
Yeah, look, everybody in our squad right now has aspirations to get to a higher level. We don't hide behind that, right? Or we see ourselves as a platform club where these guys have the chance to get to the championship or the MLS or go abroad. So everybody's hungry to move to the next level. We've got nobody here that says, my final destination is Tormenta when I sign a 5-year contract. Everyone wants to move up. We want them to move up, but we want to be part of that story. And when one of these guys goes and plays for an MLS club, Darin and Nitro will be the first one there watching them. Jeff and Elena will be the first ones there watching them. And the coaching staff will feel part of that process. And that gives us as much joy as it does coming back and, you know, having a second half like we had at Greenville. Those are the things that live long in the memory. And the organisation that they've created is a platform to do those special things, and we're forever grateful for it.
How have you grown as a head coach since you took the mantle?
Oh, massively. I mean, it's until you become a head coach at a professional level, there's only so much you can do as an assistant, and it's nothing to do with the role. It's just about the stress, the making the final decision, and so forth. But these guys have taught me a lot. Darin and Nitra, Jeff and Elena have taught me a lot. Just being around good people, organised people with high aspirations who push us every day. And the guys push us every day, and it's a high caliber organisation. We're not where we want to be, but we're on a journey towards it, and the whole staff has had to grow together. We're young, we're a little bit dumb, we're a little bit naive, but, you know, at 34, I'm the oldest in the staff with Tom, and we've got some younger guys with us. But the opportunity that this ownership has given us to cut our teeth in this profession, our job is to pay it back to them, and that's what we work every day to pay back. We're indebted to them. Great, we're so grateful for the opportunity, And we really want to give this community and this ownership staff something that they can really get behind, like USL-W will do this weekend.
There's the confidence from the head coach, Ian Cameron, the head coach of South Georgia Tormenta. When you look at how things have grown, the sport here in the Southeast, and specifically here on I-16, you've been a part of it in your undergrad at Mercer, and you've gotten to see how it grows in Macon with the support there, and now you're seeing it down further down I-16 with what's going on here in Statesboro on multiple levels. Then it rubs off on the high school ranks. You look at somebody like a Vidalia that's made their way to a state championship on the girls' side a couple of seasons ago. And what you're seeing here, as you head toward the coast, what's it like to see things evolve the way that they have in the non-traditional soccer town like we have here in Statesboro, Georgia?
Look, we want people to be really passionate about whatever they do in life. And soccer is just such a beautiful sport because there's no individual can run the sport. It's truly a team sport. It takes a camaraderie, it takes teamwork, it takes unity, it takes all these superlatives that you want to give it. So we're so proud of our sport. I've got a long history in it. My dad played pro and everything, so I've grown up with the sport. To watch it grow in this country is it's amazing. And you've got, you look at Darin and Nitra, their kids played in an academy, and that gave them the bug. And then they started an academy, they started a USL-2, and look at them now. The benchmark, the gold standard of USL-1, pushing that league forward, one of the founding members. It takes visionaries, it takes people to really push out the boat, and now it takes those people first, and now as a knock-on consequence, you see all these young people in our country from all ethnicities, from all types of backgrounds, and all you need is a ball. And that's why basketball is so special in this country, and that's why soccer is so special across the world, because it's a very simple sport, and it can teach so many lessons, and it's a privilege to be part of the growth, to be honest.
All right, so I see a lot of guys here, and great that they're here, in the dress grays, in the dark blues, in the blacks, in all of the unis that are here tonight. And I want them to listen to this question because I know that there's going to be a response to it. One of the first conversations that I had with Darin and Nitra has to do with interpersonal communication and how important it is to the club. When the team finishes practice or is together as a group and they go and get the team meal in that room in the back of the clubhouse, there are things that are left at the door in a box. No cell phones allowed. The first time you saw that and knew that was a rule where you're going in to eat with your teammates, eat with your mates, cell phone goes in the box and you can't do anything about it until the meal is over, what was your initial reaction?
Oh, it was probably joy, because when you walk into an environment that has a culture like that set, you've got standards around the place, and then success is inevitable. And I'm not saying where we want to be, but success is absolutely inevitable, whether that's for these guys down the line or in the immediate future, when the standards are set and rules are in place that force this young generation, which are different, they are very, very different than even my era, and I'm not that much removed from them. When things are in place like that, it makes the coaching staff's job easier. And the second part of that is, I knew coming in that it wasn't just me bringing my brand. I would learn from the environment that I was coming into, and I wanted to go somewhere where I would grow and learn. And that's why I knew, when looking at some of the dynamics of this organisation, I knew it would bode well for me in the future, and there's be things in place that I didn't have to do, and that's rewarding.
EP, what else is on your mind?
I think the main slogan of the club is "Pros Start Here." How important is it for you to continue growing the youth academy? Like I said, lower soccer. You see multiple teams around the world coming up. USL League 2, giving them a pre-development. Youth academy now. MLS Next Pro with Tormenta FC. USL Academy, MLS Next Pro. How important is it to you to give them an opportunity in League 2, or even signing an academy contract like we had with Brett our last couple of seasons with Tristan?
Look, we could sign a player from another league. We could sign an MLS player, and he comes in and dazzles this community. But there's nothing more special in sport across the board than a young player from the local community who rises through ranks, who makes it into the first team even if it's for a few minutes. There's nothing more captivating than that. and to watch that young player who's from this community, that shares ties with these people, who went to schools that our community knows, who knows people, who has all sorts of connections to local businesses. Nothing can compete with that, and nothing gives us more joy. Watching Britton come on, and he played against NCFC last year at the end of the season. He should have scored a goal. He had a very good chance. Tristan Deloche came on in the game, quite a few games, and there's like Clemson, Grant Hampton and Stephen O'Hare, what they've done in the summertime. These guys are massive. And now we've got Britton, who's going off to college. He's going to get an education, both in life, in calisthenics, in love. He's going to get all sorts of an education over there. But look from these guys, right? They've not cheered for anybody else as much as they cheer for Britton, is because of how special these guys are to our organisation. And to be honest, these guys really help some of the academy players, and what they go and achieve in the career is a large part to do with what the boys give them and an environment that they give them, and the standards that they hold them to, turning from an academy player into a pro. And pros start here, but some of our guys actually really help our young players along the way. And our academy is our lifeblood, and over the next 10 years it's going to become the staple of what we are. And it's only just begun. It's only just begun.
Go ahead.
It's all you. You're the one holding the microphone. You got to ask the questions.
When your recruiting process, what is one thing that you always mention to a player when you come in here? What's different about Tormenta than other teams so far?
They have to be all in. You know, there's some terrific players across the leagues. USL-1 has got a plethora of super talented boys, but there's quite a few of those boys that came across our desk and we just knew it wasn't the right fit because they're not all in. They have their own lives, and that's fine, but they're not invested in the process. They're not hungry to move up the ranks. They're happy to play football and happy to just go about their game on a Saturday. But we need people that are invested. We need people that want to do it, and Darin says this a lot of times, who can do both, right? And that means serve the community, be good teammates, strive to make themselves better. Do all the above and try to win championships at the same time. So we look for people that have that hunger, might not have all come from the same backgrounds. You know, different players have different stories how they arrived here. Britton's got a different story than Jake. Coda's got a different story than O. These guys all have different stories. The coaching staff are the same. We have different ways that we arrived here. But they've got to have a real desire to make themselves better, but also improve our community at the same time. And it's non-negotiables that we have, and I think that helps us keep a staple product, something that's homogenous to Tormenta. And each team that comes through, we expect that to look like a Tormenta team. And that's the personalities.
All right, you have to pass the baton now.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, you get to tag out, but on the one condition that you tell us and you surprise who you're telling gets to come up here and answer questions. What players are you summoning here to the top?
Well, great. The coaching staff went back and forth, but we got somebody who's a bit of a linguistic genius. Who's extremely educated, who's just going to come up and wow you, and he's got one of the most interesting haircuts in the country, maybe. So Kazaiah Sterling's going to come up here and give you just. This is going to be an experience. I mean, you're going to have to Google and use a dictionary for some of the words and things that are going to come out of his mouth.
Okay, so I'm going to get the Google machine up. Ian Cameron, head coach of South Georgia Tormenta, he is tagging out and has said that Kazaiah Sterling must take his seat.
It's going to be like playing Wordle today. It's going to be brilliant. Here he is.
Kazaiah Sterling has to come over here.
We have a question for him later.
Oh, we do? And so, all right, so once again, reminder. You've got those QR codes on your tables. If you have questions about anything, and we mean anything, dial them up, go ahead and use the QR code. The questions will go to Scott Flood. And Scott, although they do go to you, you do some gatekeeping. You make sure that the questions are, big thumbs up from Scott. He does keep an eye on the questions. So you can send any question you want, but in the final segment of the show, he is the ultimate gatekeeper to make sure that the questions will work their way here. Kazaiah Sterling, welcome. All right. So, first question, yes. 1, 2, mic check 1, 2, 1, 2. For those that don't know, how did you end up here in Statesboro, Georgia?
So I always wanted to play in America, so that was something I was really interested in doing, and then through my agent, we came to that, just came across Tormenta, and once speaking with the coaches and having a little talk about what they had going on here, I was just really excited to come out here.
What were those conversations like? I mean, and I know that you probably can't say everything that happened, but what were those conversations like when you were having the discussions with your agent and with folks here in Statesboro? What were those conversations like? What can you divulge about those conversations?
It was mainly that just the plan the club had going forward and what they were trying to do, sort of thing, and then just hearing their sort of plans and how like positive they were, and their aspirations was what really drew me to coming here. So I just thought it'd be a really good opportunity for myself and just to get a new experience at a good club.
EP, I hand the microphone to you.
Well, Kazaiah, I did your press release when you got here, so I do have to ask you some questions. I know Jake, I was talking to Jake right before you got here, and he said that you guys played against each other in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So, like, was that your first experience in America?
Yeah, so that was the ING Cup.
ING Cup.
So yeah, that was like the first time I played in America, and I really enjoyed the tournament. So from then I always had like in the back of my mind that I playing in the US. So I feel like that tournament probably like a turning point in me wanting to come out here.
So when was that? 2017, right?
2017, yeah.
2017. Your first experience in American soccer. Did you ever think that, a couple years from there, you'd be here in Statesboro, Georgia, playing for Tormenta FC?
Not at the time, no, because with football, you never know where you are going to end up. Yeah, I didn't think I'd end up here in a few years, but now I'm here. I'm really glad I am.
Also, you're an England international. You played the World Cup with England in year 17.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience. Now you played with Trent Alexander-Arnold. You played with the Brentford defense, Jay Da Silva.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does that experience transition to now? How did that help you grow through the game?
That was a good experience just playing abroad. So just playing abroad against different nations. I feel like you realize that like different nations have different styles of playing, different like playing personalities and game tactics, stuff like that. So I feel like that was just opened my mind a bit to just like not just English football, and realized there was like loads of different talents out there across the world.
Now getting into the present, South Georgia in playoff positions. We've never really had a playoff season since the start of the club. Now that you're here halfway through the season, what have you learned? What are your thoughts on League One as a whole and the game at a professional level here in the United States?
I'd say by a mile, it's definitely the most competitive league I played in. Like they said earlier, one win can take you from mid-table to top, or a loss can take you from a player's position to really low on the table. So it's really interesting just playing in such a competitive league. It makes you like just like self-conscious that you have to be at it every week. There's not teams in the league where you think there's going to be an easy win. So it just means that you just got to be on it every single week.
Now there's 23, 24 players in the team, all different, all with different cultures. What's the most important thing to you to get along with a teammate? How do you get along with a teammate specifically?
That's a good question.
Make sure he picks up the tab when you go eat, right?
I'll say definitely, out of all the teams I've been in over the years, this is definitely probably one of my most favorite teams, because I feel like everyone here is just genuine, just good people. They're really easy to get along with, very welcoming. So when I first came, I didn't find any problems like fitting in with everyone because they were so welcoming. I think that's what really allowed me to like settle down. Yeah.
How has your game grown since you've been here? What have you learned about yourself and your game since you've been here in Statesboro?
Just different ways of like, so I've had a few injuries as well, so just managing my body is one of them. I feel like here this is I've been allowed to like link play more, so I feel like I've added that aspect to my game more, and that's something I'm still trying to develop like week to week. So I think that's like a big one for me this season that I feel like I've been allowed to work on.
One of the things I don't think fans necessarily understand is the travel aspect. It's not all 747s and Lear jets and limousines and all this kind of stuff. How long has it taken you, or are you still getting adjusted to the travel ideas here in the United States about getting from Statesboro to point A to point B to play and keeping your body as best as you can and all this kind of stuff? How are you learning the travel aspect?
Cause like growing up in England, like everywhere is like fairly close. So like for me, a lot of games just feel like an away day, like a really long away trip. So like I know for here, 3 hours is probably not deemed a very long trip, but for me that's like taking you to like halfway up the country. So just getting used to that is a different experience for me. A lot of like a really far away trips will be flights as well. Something like that is what I'm still getting used to now. The time zone thing, time zone changing while I'm in the same country, I still can't get my head around that one. That's one thing.
I had a question, now I've completely blanked out on it. So it's no, I haven't. All right, so let's talk about your teammates, because you're the one up here with the microphone. Let's talk about your teammates here a little bit. Who would you say, and I guess this is kind of like high school yearbook question kind of things. Who is the class clown of South Georgia Tormenta?
Definitely Jack.
And why is this, sir?
I think he's just got a very humorous personality and a very positive outlook on just seeing everything. So I feel like it can come across like as maybe too jokey, but me personally, I like it. I feel like it's very refreshing to have someone like that in the team.
Is there anybody who's more of a practical joker than anybody else?
Practical joker.
Anybody playing gags than anybody else more than anybody?
I think Gabbo loves a joke.
All right. So what was the best practical joke he played that you got to see? What was the best joke that got played?
I never actually get to see them. I just heard the big laugh. He's got one of the most funny laughs I've ever heard. So you just hear the big laugh and you know something's going on.
Okay. Who's the most serious locked in player of the group?
I say skipper Pablo, 100%.
And why is this?
Like you said, he's just locked in, very focused, just like.
Can you get him off of being locked in, whether it's at practice or any point? Can you needle him? Can you poke him in the ribs, get him to laugh at a serious moment?
He's called me sometimes, because sometimes I don't know if he's joking or not. Like he's made the joke. Sometimes he's got a straight face and then he'll just laugh. So that stuff like that's funny. I never know when he's joking or when he's being serious.
The most competitive player on the team is who?
I think I'll put myself up.
I was going to say, other than Kazaiah Sterling, you cannot nominate yourself, sir. Who would be like? Who is 1B? If Kazaiah Sterling is 1A, who is 1B?
I'll say Desh as well. Desh, he's got a lot of like trust talk as well, definitely.
Okay. If the two of you ran a 40,
what's that?
40-yard dash.
Oh yeah.
You go from end line to center line. Let's do that. You go from end line to center line. Who wins that? Who wins that race?
Oh, me comfortably.
Have you gotten adjusted to South Georgia summers?
To the what?
South Georgia summers. The heat, the humidity, going through about 3 different pennies a day at practice.
The heat was something that I wasn't complaining about it. I complain now and then, but because England's always cold, I was just happy for it to be sunny all the time. But the rain's been.
Well, you know, the way that it works is that if practice is scheduled every day at 5:30, that's when it's going to rain. And then 15 minutes later, it's done, and then it's humid. It's like 190% humidity, matching temperatures. So every day, as long as practice is over by 5:30, you won't get wet.
Yeah. To be fair, I haven't been caught in any rain here, like playing football, but because we train quite early. But I just say the rain's just very aggressive. So I'm used to rain, but this type of rain, just
aggressive rain.
Yeah, very aggressive. Like if you get caught in it, you're done for.
When I mention gaffer, what comes to mind? When I mention the gaffer, what comes to mind for you?
What, the word gaffer?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean that guy. Your gaffer. Coach Campbell.
The boss.
Yeah.
That's what.
So what's it like having him as your gaffer?
I'll say when I first heard he was Scottish, I expected him to be very like aggressive and just shouting a lot. But he's very calm, very intelligent. So I thought I like him a lot.
he's trying hard to say some things. All right. Before you go, I'm going to hand the mic over to EP again. Are you taking good notes here?
They're all mental notes. I do know. I've noticed your cleat collection. Well, your boot collection. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Your football boots collections. Why the vintage? I know we talked earlier in the year. You were part of the Nike sponsored team while you were in England. But why switch to the Adidas classic boots? What drove the attention to you?
I've always just loved the old 50s, all the old Adidas boots. They remind me of loads of players as well. So I just feel like I'm just living in it's a bit of nostalgia, I'll say. And I do like the models of them as well. I feel like they don't make boots like they used to.
What's the next boot for Kazaiah Sterling?
Oh, probably another F50.
50?
Yeah.
See the kind of stuff you learn when you come here to Statesboro, Georgia? Kazaiah, thank you very much. I'm going to hit the Google machine and find out about Kazaiah Sterling's hair. I'm going to work the Google and see what kind of pictures we have.
The Google?
The Google.
Oh, Google. Oh, your Google.
The Google machine. Kazaiah, thanks for hanging out with us tonight before you got a match in North Carolina FC. Okay. Appreciate it. Once again, reminder, you've got the QR codes on your tables if you have questions, and I mean any question. Hit the QR code and it goes to Scott Flood. At the end of the show, Scott Flood will have all the questions that we have that he deems worthy of being answered. And since we are here just past the halfway point of the show, but you got questions already? You got stuff? Okay. Oh, he's going to do something. Look out. All right.
I have a little moment here. I want to. Everybody, pay attention real quick. I want to kind of gauge what kind of audience we have here tonight. So I'm going to say a team, and I need to hear either boos, I'm looking at you, or applause. All right?
Uh-huh.
A boo.
Careful with that.
All right, here we go. Ready? What you said? Don't do that. All right. I'll start with Real Madrid.
Sounds like this is a Barca room.
Wow, Barcelona.
Sounds like this is a Real Madrid room.
Yeah. This is like Birmingham with Memphis. Get in. All right, how about, let's go Bayern Munich. Oh my goodness. How about Borussia Dortmund? Oh, nothing.
PSG.
Oh, the French are just never get any love, do they? Just nothing. Nothing. Atlanta United. Come on, we're on the stage. A little bit of love, just say something. Anything. Nothing. Tormenta.
Way to go for the cheap pop, brother.
Well, out of curiosity, how about the Birmingham Legion?
I think word got out. Yeah. Memphis 901. See? Nothing. Yeah. All right. So then, if we're getting a bunch of boos here, I guess we should go to the Prem. Manchester City. Sounds like this is a Manchester United room.
Yeah! Oh, jeez.
Or is this a Liverpool room?
Arsenal.
Spurs?
Atlanta United. God, jeez.
He's checking. So who are we missing? Leicester?
Leeds United.
See, now we're going to end up having to go down the table from last year to sit there and figure out who everyone's individually cheering for.
Everton. Did they lose last night to?
4-0 to Minnesota United.
God.
So, did you see the tweet from Roger Bennett?
No.
Men in Blazers? He said that Everton's going to be the first team ever relegated from MLS after last night.
The Greenville Triumph. Wow. That's, wow, yeah. You be nice.
Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Oh. It's Venom. How about the Tormenta women's team? That is the correct answer. There you go. Now you're getting it. There we go. How about,
Well, you know what we could do is we could do players now.
well, how about Inter Milan?
See, you went Serie A, and folks are just like, I'm gonna go back to my salad.
Juve. Nothing? Oh,
okay.
my. There's somebody from the team.
So then if I mention Aaron Ramsey to you, he's like shaking his head. He's like, nope, get Aaron Ramsey out of here, man.
Well, okay, here's a good one, and we'll quit on this. But this is the biggest one, right? Because this is gonna polarize everybody. What kind of room are we? Are we Messi
Or Ronaldo.
or Ronaldo?
Or quoting Ray Hudson, Neymar. See, I don't even get anything out of Neymar out of this room. Lewandowski. Mbappe. Everybody's just kind of like,
Oh God, nobody likes anybody anymore. Good Lord, what kind of world are we in now? All right. Who? What?
nothing like openly canvassing for favorite players and teams. Benzema. Got a corner of the room for Benzema. Okay. So now we know how this room is wired. It is completely and totally schizophrenic. You all have your own opinions. God bless you all. Yeah. All right. So.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah. So you're done. You're done at the halfway point.
Yeah.
So
We got another player coming up?
yeah, but Darin van Tassell is tagging out now.
Oh, is it time for Darin?
I believe it is time for Darin van Tassell.
Oh, he's finishing. Oh my God.
Man's got his
You
own.
can keep going with that, Chef.
Man's got his own DVT chant working here.
Well, it's a good room when you come here. You know why they're not cheering for any of those teams you said? Because they don't like anybody that doesn't play for Tormenta.
See, there you go.
These are pro guys.
Yeah.
Every team he mentions the opposition.
Right, and that was kind of what I was trying to get at. It's like, work your way toward one particular team, South Georgia Tormenta, and then everybody cheers. Unless, of course, I mention it for the fourth time in 3 minutes, and everybody's tired of it, and they've gone back to their dinner.
That's right. That's how it works here.
Has it sunk in that you've got a team playing for a championship tomorrow?
How about that? A national title. Can we keep cheering for the women? A national title. Here's what's really cool. They're going to land in Minneapolis here in a few hours. Terrible scheduling by the USL because League One's playing Saturday night at 7:30. The women kick at 8 Eastern. But we're going to have a big screen, television screen projection at the game.
Cool.
So we're about 30 minutes off. Fans will be able to do it, and then after we get our 3 points, we're going to all sit around the screen and watch the women bring it home.
But, I mean, legitimately, it is very rare for a first-year franchise to be chasing after a championship. And it speaks once again to the work that the front office has put in to put the right people in place to let those folks sit there and bring in folks that they think can get them to this point. Because, if you bring in, how many people, unless they have one of the best plugged-in scouting system computers ever known to mankind, would think off the top of their head to go to Western Illinois University to bring in talent like Amy Andrews.
And she was really the class of the league the entire time.
She's all right.
That's right. Listen, here's what I think. if we're doing it right at Tormenta, John, we're getting better. You know, we were good when we started, and we got really good in the middle, and we're playing like champions at the moment. And I think that's always got to be our story. You know, when you're going to play pro soccer and the top of everything, and you're going to do it in Statesboro, Georgia,
Yeah.
you got to do it differently. But you know, someone's got to win this year. It might as well be us, and I think we've earned it. That's the really good thing. The women and the franchise have earned that one on the field.
Having to go on the road to Miami City, win down there 1-0, and every step of the way, it has been something that you win, you move on, you win, you move on, and that mentality's been there all season long, where it's hard to work in a sprint season. League Two is the same way. All of the summer sprints are the same. It's difficult to hit the ground running and be ready for a championship. Sometimes it takes you a little bit to get there, but you hope it doesn't take you too long to get there.
Well, we didn't sleep, breathe, or rest this summer.
So you're saying that wasn't allowed on
You know, thank goodness we have a front office. Hey, you guys, can we just tell everybody in here how good the front office is? They're sitting in the back. And those guys are crushing it every day. You know, we have players and coaches that are with League One, League Two, and the W League. The front office is with every league, and they're there for every game. Edwin, you guys have been killing it. And I think that's super important, but we haven't done this many teams before. This is new for us.
Right.
And so we're catching our breath, and
You are not
we're gonna
catching your
celebrate that
breath,
thing.
sir.
Well, we're just catching our breath during the show.
Okay.
That was the point.
You bring everybody over here for dinner, you catch your breath, and then you're back at it after we leave.
But I think this is really cool. Kaz, can you hear me? You're sitting somewhere, Kaz, right?
He's over the
So the other night, we're down 5-2 at the half. Guys, let's don't ever go down 5-2 at the half again. It's a terrible idea. What did you hear at halftime? They won in Miami City. That didn't hurt the results. I'm hoping the next time. And I mention that only because Kaz said that to me. But, you know, when we're at our best, it's an organization that is all part into each other. And clearly we're happy as owners in this organization. But the players are deeply part of that piece. So it's a big thrill. They're going to go as Minnesota Aurora, and stadium sold out in 24 hours at the Vikings complex. This is a pretty cool moment. It just got back from the USL's Summer Classic, where left Louisville this morning. And I have to tell you, Tormenta got a standing ovation from those owners at the championship in League One too. So what a thrill it is to be playing in tension, and we got a chance to try to win it on the pitch tomorrow.
How cool is it to have that buy-in from everybody, regardless of what element you're in here, regardless of which scarf you're attached to? This one, the W, League Two, or League One on the whole. Everyone across the board knows what's going on with everybody else. You ask Kazaiah, and he's talking about the W. You talk to the guys, and they know what's going on. It's like you ask the women, they know what's going on in the summer sprint. They know what's going on with the parent club at League One. All of this integration that's here, everyone buys in, and everyone wants to lift the others up. It takes special folks to come in here and understand that from the absolute beginning.
Listen, our top League Two players are in the room tonight because they're still here training with the first team. It's by design. It's really important. If we're going to make this thing work, it's got to be that way. Here's what I would say about the USL too, John, and I think it really does show when you're sort of talking amongst the fans. Yes, they do have their favorite teams that play in different leagues, but I really think, you know, we're not playing minor league soccer. This is all pro soccer that we're going in the room. People are in different leagues. FIFA tells us we're in different divisions. Fine. But it's all pro soccer. And when you're playing the global game, we play the teams we're scheduled to play.
Yeah.
Those are only folks you get to play against. And while there's a chance to move up and go do other things, we are professional athletes right now.
In fact, in this room tonight, these are the only professional athletes south of Atlanta until you get to Jacksonville, Florida, in a different sport. That's a big gap, and I think it's a badge of honor for us.
Well, and we talked a little bit about it with Ian, and I like to check in with you periodically to get your point of view on the game in this footprint, specifically the geographic area where we are, where you've got high school teams chasing after championships in AA, in Toombs County, in the city of Vidalia. They're chasing after championships in the sport of soccer. You've got teams that are chasing after it on the coast in Savannah, working their way down the coast and getting integrated. The growth in all of these markets and all of these pockets, the pockets are running out.
Yes.
There's no longer this gap of space on a Rand McNally where it's like, okay, it's here, and then there's a couple of inches and then you can circle it, and there's another couple of inches and you can circle it. All of this stuff is starting to blend together in all of these markets. Small town, atypical, large market.
It's kind of like Sandy Springs and Alpharetta used to not be part of Atlanta.
Yeah, and then they made the 400 extension finally.
And now it's all, sort of run together. Well, I love those examples you gave. Vidalia's best player is one of our academy women, so that's super exciting. For us, listen, the United States could not stay immune to the growth of what's going on globally forever. And there's a whole bunch of people that came way before Tormenta who made sure that happened. And quite frankly, kudos to this show, because I think you guys are the single best journalists covering those kinds of things in the whole Southeast. You certainly have made the USL a priority for the show. You've made high school a priority for the show. That's a big deal to us. It's an ultimate legitimizer, and you're here tonight. And I can tell you, even though the acoustics aren't great in the room, everybody in here knows what this feels like. And this is what it feels like to be playing on a big stage. This is what happens. You do shows in places like Wild Wings, and that's a big deal for us, and none of this is lost on us tonight.
I mean, when we started this journey together, and I think it's safe to say that we started it together.
We did.
We both understood where it could go. We both understood what could happen, and we both understood the importance of its place. Because we've always talked about, one of our key phrases has always been rising tide lifts all boats. And when you get to talk about a Vidalia, you talk about a Portal, you talk about Millen and Jenkins County, you talk about what's going on in Effingham County toward the coast, down the coast, into Vidalia, up toward Mercer, where I can talk to Ian about what's going on with the Mercer Bears and what's going on with a school like Ace Charter that was chasing after championships in the GHSA. All of these places coming together and growing and understanding that you work together, even if you're chasing championships and some are more successful than others, you're all working to boost the game. And when you have that moment where someone from a Vidalia is paired with a Tormenta and can expose what's going on in USL League One or 2 or W or what have you, to have those kinds of moments just adds to the validity of the growth from the beginning.
I think one of the things that soccer's doing so well is organizations are cooperating really well. Now, when they're playing, they're going to smash each other.
Yeah, that 90 minutes, you're like, yeah.
But then it's really got to do it. Listen, you mentioned Effingham. The Golden Glove winner who's going to be in net for us tomorrow night is the pride of Effingham County, Sydney Martinez. She wins the Golden Glove, and her story is a great story. Now she's at South Florida. She's easily going to get drafted next year. But there's tons of those nuggets,
right,
of those stories along the way. And listen, I think that's one of the things that Tormenta gets to do is to do those things. We're the smallest market in pro soccer. We get to wear that label because that's just the reality.
But how many other markets above you are chasing after championships tomorrow in Minneapolis?
There's none of them, quite frankly. That's why you keep clapping, you guys. Well, listen, we're going to always celebrate the moments. But this is a club we're designed to win championships. Yeah. It's our first goal, it's our second goal, it's our third goal. But it's also not the only thing that we're doing. We're going to do lots of things at once. We don't have to make choices about one or the other. When when our communities are hurting, we got to be a part of them. When the community's in need, we got to be a part of them. When the community's celebrating, we're going to be a part of that. We had a big music fest last Friday, and Tormenta was there. The first team was on the road, but Tormenta was there. A couple thousand people downtown. Those are who we want to be, because we want to live here and make this all part of us.
You mentioned community. I want to talk about Carter Payne for a little bit.
Please do.
And you mentioned how you have community here in this room today. You have community outside these walls. When we're out the door and this show is over and you're getting ready for a championship game and a game against North Carolina FC tomorrow, you still have someone who is as much a part of Tormenta as anyone else. And that's Carter Payne, with the legacy that Tormenta and the IBIS Foundation are continuing with Carter, who is sadly no longer here.
Well, tragedies are going to always be fresh. Life got ugly, and there are other ugly moments that'll happen. It got ugly for a whole bunch of us in this room together, and it's still a tough time. Listen. One of the magical things that sports gets to do is Carter's dream was to play professional soccer. He was on the League 2, and so all the guys and Nitra made sure it happened. They wore Carter Payne's jersey to the next game. Carter's birthday's next month. We're not going to be done celebrating Carter. All the women, every game since that happened, have worn white tape on their wrists with CP2. Carter Payne 2 was his number. And Amy Andrews keeps scoring. Yeah. She has this signature drink of tea. I think that came from the Women's World Cup a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
She stopped doing that because she now runs to the camera and points to the wrists where it's CP2. I keep thinking I'm done with these tears, but at this stage we've got to celebrate his life.
What's your favorite CP2 story?
Well, I think it's the same favorite story we all have. He wore the most ridiculous headband ever to the first day of training. And I remember thinking, who is this guy? I mean, it was a throwback to a whole different era, and I think we all remembered that. And then I saw him hit the Jets once from that outside back position. Listen, we're going to celebrate our joys and we're going to mourn the losses, and not to get cliche, but if you're going to run an organization, you're going to lead a life with an organization. And the dark moments and the moments of just celebratory moments, we're going to do it together. Maybe we don't have any choices about it, but Carter's still here. I'm sure he's somewhere in the room right now.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get into more things to talk about and celebrate. Like I mentioned when I was coming in, I didn't go straight to Veterans Parkway and turn right. I took an early right, which meant I took a left on Old Register and came up Old Register before I got to the Parkway. You and I have been talking ever since this was an idea, and it was just a bunch of forest land and the practice fields, and now you're starting to see it come to fruition with stands and stanchions and everything else that's around it. What's it like to see what's going on over there at the clubhouse?
Well, it's a big build, and there's nobody more interested in what I'm saying than the players and coaches in front office in this room, but I'm sure some fans too. Construction's not a patient business any more than building championships are. We hit a lot of supply chain problems, and building a stadium in the middle of a pandemic is a different plan.
Yes.
But we built Tormenta Way. Right, there's a roadside. Tormenta Way.
Did you get one of those?
We did not, but when the city said, what do we want the road to be called? I said, well, I would call it Tormenta Way. And the guy starts writing it down on the sheet. I said, what's the process? He said, that's the process. I'm writing it down. I said, that's your process? I said, that's awesome. Your process is terrible, but we'll take Tormenta Way.
So you need to get a street sign for your office now.
Yeah, there'll be many made. I'm sure they'll be in in the merchandise shop that'll be part of the stadium for sale.
Ooh.
We'll bring those right home.
I like that.
I'm sure Keith and Chef will have those. They'll get the players to sign them for sure.
See, now that was running through my head literally as you're saying. It's like, man, get one of those to get the players to sign that?
Yeah, it'll be big.
And hang that
Well, there's all kinds of fun things coming up. Nature's been putting an attic full of things that will be in the stadium, so when it's there. We're close. We hit about a 9 weeks stoppage on sand. That was our supply chain problem. Boys, all the sand got delivered yesterday. Did you know that? Irrigation goes down Monday, the pipes. The well was finished being drilled this afternoon. See, we clap for that. There's no better than me clapping, but that's good. So you think that happened?
You are about as good as Mick Foley when it comes to getting the crowd to respond to.
You've got to know your people.
Yeah.
You got to know your people. Listen, we will be playing on there before the season's over.
Okay.
Once we get those things down, we roll the sod out. The scoreboard goes up. We've got our temporary press box. Now we've got it. We're still doing construction. We got 4 stories of condos and a 4-story building with a restaurant and music venue, and the 4th story is our roof on the stands and all the locker rooms in there. But it's coming, and the path is along its way, and you can go see it. You and I are going to go back there and take a closer look later.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so I want to talk about scarf number 5.
Let's do it.
Scarf number 5. You said that you got to watch Lewis City and Phoenix Rising. Phoenix Rising, by the way, it's stunning how they have fallen this season, but that's a separate story.
I don't know how they kept that many shots at a goal last night.
I know.
But they did.
And you go to Summer Showcase, and everybody gets to kind of hang out and compare notes. What were some of the things that you can take away that you can mention publicly about what happened in Louisville?
Well, every owner was there, and I've got some players in the room who might be interested in knowing. We'll see if they're going to keep listening to us. But we can tell you that in 2023, we will add 3 more teams to League One.
Okay.
Only one of those teams has been made public, and that's Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah. Because they're doing what you are doing. They want to do the downtown facility with the mixed-use development, because we caught up with them.
And I think they're going to do some initial work with the University of Kentucky to get started. But there are 2 other teams. We're going to have to let those teams announce who they are. But they are in the
I don't want to break any news.
They are in the Southeast.
But that's key, though.
That's key. You get that much tonight.
Because League One has been this Southeast footprint, and the rivalries against a team like Greenville Triumph.
How do you guys feel about Greenville Triumph? Who's trying to bring them up again?
Greenville Triumph, what do you think?
It's tough. It's a tough crowd, but full tough acoustics by the time you get back there to Jordan Million.
So, but you get to Greenville, you get to North Carolina FC, who's coming tomorrow. You get to Chattanooga Red Wolves. All of the hub that's a part of the Southeast rivalry that's been here. Richmond, if you want to include them, is a part of the whole discussion too. Southeast has really been the anchor from jump for USL League One.
You know, it's also been the anchor in League Two and the W League.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really popping, and by the time we get to 2024, the Southeast isn't going to be done. We've got at least 5 more that'll join us then. The league right now, and all of its various marks, I've never seen it moving this fast. I've never seen the engines turning this fast. I've never felt the G-force that we're part of the piece. It's you know, my wife drives a Tesla. I don't get to drive the Tesla. But when you push the accelerator all the way down, it'll pin you to the seat.
Okay, because my mom has a Tesla.
Very nice. Does she go all the way? Can she go 0 to 60?
I'm sure my mom could, yeah. With her
car certainly can.
And the thing, you get that big computer monitor. When I looked inside the Tesla and I see this big computer monitor, I'm like, what is that?
I know, and they're worried about cell phones. The computer monitors, you can watch a movie on that. But here's the thing, that's how that feels to be in the USL right now, and it's a very exciting moment, and I think the USL very much cherishes that it's its own independent league. It respects our fantastic league in MLS, but it very much is seeking to carve its future out, and I can tell you this, between now and when the World Cup comes to North America, this will be a very different league. And all I can tell you is folks need to keep watching.
What you said. It sounds like a tease. I think
It's a big tease.
Darin van Tassell, friend of SDH. Great to have you, sir.
Thank you, John.
Thanks you for rolling out the Tormenta magenta carpet for us tonight.
Love being here. Thanks for everything.
All right, so, you want Darin to stay. Oh, he's got questions.
Questions tonight. Very good.
Yeah, you sit here.
I'm gonna need some audience help.
Yeah, so what I...
Nature, how well can you hear back there? Is it very nice? See, if you eat this microphone, it gets better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to say...
Edwin, you got to eat the microphone. You got that?
We got a question for you too, Edwin.
Nice.
Specifically for you. Oh, just a little one.
You can have it, Edwin. Yeah. No, you're fine. Are you 21? Go ahead. Yeah. These guys have no accent on it. Okay, yes. These people are encouraging all kinds of...
That is the first
useful
time
activities.
ever in the history of our network where we have had a staffer take a shot.
Very nice, boys. You see that? Another first for Tormenta.
We've had our moment of history here at SDH. A staffer for a soccer
First in the league to go. First in the W League final. First staffer to take a shot. That boy, Edwin. It's a very proud organization.
So, pros start here,
Pros
start here.
You gonna sit with us or you leaving?
All right, we got questions.
We got a lot of questions.
These questions came from this room.
Tormenta family out there, there's a lot of questions for you. So when I call your name, pay attention. So you can answer the question, just yell it out as bad. I know I've got one for you. I know I've got one. And quite a few. Ian, there's quite a few for you. So, Darin, there's a lot for you.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's do it.
Edwin, there's one for you.
Wow.
I'll ask the first one. How was that shot? How was that shot? Give me the full details. Delicious.
Can I go ahead and give you the answer to what...
I just snuck out of the basement.
Scott, can I give you the answer to what I know? I need the guys to be listening here. The answer is yes. Nisha is exactly as good as you think she is, and she's the best owner in the league. You guys with me on that? That, I knew what the answer was. I knew the question.
I'm fact checking myself. All right, first question. Oh, everybody did get quiet. Look at it. Coach told everybody to get up and
trivia time.
I love it. Thank you, Ian. All right, Kazaiah, you're up, baby. This is the real hard-hitting questions. What's your favorite American food?
Yell it out!
Chick-fil-A. What at Chick-fil-A? Spicy chicken sandwich. It's legit. He's all right. He's all right. He's in the South. He knows what he's doing. He knows.
How meaningful is it that our favorite American food is a fast food restaurant? It is what it is, isn't it?
It is what it is. Hi, welcome to America. America. All right, Darin, you're up. If you had to own a sports team that wasn't a soccer team, what team would it be?
An existing team? An existing team? Is that
I'm going to assume
question?
an existing team, yes.
Hands down, because the second greatest organization, other than Tormenta FC, is the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, I almost thought I was going to say United.
Atlanta Braves, hands down.
World champion Atlanta Braves.
World champions
World
Atlanta
champion
Braves.
Atlanta Braves.
They brought me great joy.
That's right. Okay. All right, Darin, we'll ask you this. Where does the name Tormenta come from?
Well, Tormenta is the Spanish word for storm. That was the name of our youth academy at one time. And deeply embedded in our crest, that bird is an ibis, and the ibis is known for its bravery in the animal world. It's the last animal to retreat from a storm. Tormenta, and the first to reappear. Hence the name, which just means if you're going to play pro soccer in Statesboro, you got to stay out in the rain. That Kazaiah says was an aggressive rain. I heard that. He's not wrong.
He just wants Chick-fil-A on the front of the
That's
uniform.
right, he's not wrong.
There's a lot to that. Edwin. Oh, Edwin. Here comes your chance. This one is for Edwin. All right. Somebody knows you well. If basketball stars played soccer, who would you rather start a franchise with? Bradley Beal or Russell Westbrook, and why?
I can't answer that question. Mr. Triple-Double Russell Westbrook, let's go.
He just needed to come out of his shell for a minute. Like, antagonize him more, people. Do it more. Do it more. He'll say things.
The best point guard in the NBA and forever will be Mr. Triple-Double Russell Westbrook. Wizards legend.
I like it. I like how they baited you into that. You're like, you wanted no part of that answer. All right, I'm looking for Adrian.
Eddie, come on up to the stage, Eddie.
Bill Hart, where you at? Bill Hart, where you at?
Eddie, you can come right up here and stand next to me. I've got the microphone close.
All right, this was going to take a little bit of thinking, so I'd love to say I'm sorry, but I'm so not. So, think of this for a second. Tormenta FC joins a 5-a-side team league. From the sticks to the 9, give us your team. Ooh, like whoever asked me, right? Just
with current players? With our players?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a way to make friends.
Look at everybody. Yeah, I was going to say, look at everybody looking in. See, this is where you say I can't answer that question.
Yeah,
See, this is wrong placement.
It's really tough to make that choice here because, I want to stay friends with my teammates until the end of the season.
I was going to say, that's a ridiculously loaded question. Let's say nah on Tormenta. You can pick from the world's players. Just say Ronaldo.
I want more Messi, so Messi on all 5 positions.
Messi for all 5, so they say? That's fine with me. I like that. So, he's done, everybody. Give him a big hand.
And you can tell him at the table.
Mr. Triple-Double, right? That's what you said? Okay. I'm just checking. Make sure you didn't change your mind. Hey, Coach. Coach Ian.
Very good. He'll commit.
I won't say step like Adrian just did.
Now, ironically, this says if you could only keep 5 of your current players, which one would have? Oh, no, wrong. Sorry. Sorry.
The holding midfielder would be Tom Morris.
It's Darin, and Darin. That's weird.
No, Darin maybe wouldn't make a team. No, Nitra might, but not Darin.
All right, it just shifted on me. Thank you. Okay. If you had to pick one of the front office players to coach, who would it be?
Oh, Brian, for sure. I just think when you put on glasses, it just makes you look sophisticated, which is ironic because he's not sophisticated at all. But Brian, for sure. Brian.
Hold on, I got more for you. Don't you go anywhere.
And Edwin brought us Jake, so fair play to you.
This is a good one. This is gonna bring back some of our teams that we brought up a little while ago. Tell us, what team do you like beating the most?
In League One?
It didn't specify.
MLS, we beat Montreal in MLS, but not bragging about it. We beat MLS, we beat Championship team, so which league?
It didn't specify. Let's go League One.
League One? The easy answer is Greenville, but we've not lost them in the last 5 games, 4 wins, 1 draw. So
He's not keeping track or anything.
Yeah, I'd probably put Chattanooga next, just because they lose their heads and it's quite funny.
Should I call Sean? Let's tell Sean.
We go mate in the southeast, it's fine.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, brother. All right. We've got stuff that's coming in like on the fly here. We got people asking more questions. That's what. All right, so we'll let Darin lead it, but everybody can, chime in on this. In a fight between Bolt and Gus the Eagle, who wins?
Oh my gosh, Bolt and Gus. That's a tough one. They're like roommates. They're friends. I don't know, but those two ever even fight? You guys with Bolt and Gus ever even get in fisticuffs? I don't know. Those are the heart and soul. Well, clearly, if it came down to it, Bolt's going to win all of those matches. But I'm not sure those two would go at it, to tell you the truth. But if they did, I mean, Bolt doesn't lose.
It's, living that hypothetical.
That's right.
There you go. All right, any Jordan Melia?
Jordan Melia, very nice.
Melia?
Yeah, Jordan Melia. Jordan should come up to the microphone now.
Look at him. He tried to hide. It's like, I don't want to get it in front of people. It's people. All right, Jordan, here we go. Forgive me. This is like a paragraph of a question. You ready? Take some bibliography notes to this. And USL-1 assistant and USL Academy coach. You. Considering the club, sorry, I didn't realize he was clarifying who you were. I was just reading the question. Damn, this is like Anchorman. Considering the club's excellent reputation as producing talented players from a comparatively small talent pool, why do you think the first team are yet to use any new academy products this season? Is that a loaded question? Did I just ask a loaded question?
Why are we yet to use any academy products this season?
Yeah.
Wow, that is a tough one. No, we've used Britain this season. Britain was active on the U19 MLS Next team last year, so he's been active with the first team. So technically, we have used an active academy player this season with the first team, which credit to Brit, he's been fantastic. So he's recently committed to FIU, and I know he's got a lot of people to thank. So I don't know if he wants to come up to the stage and thank. He's been the gold standard of the academy for the last couple of years.
Does he like Russell Westbrook too, or no? Oh, jeez almighty. Well, we're going to have to change that. How are you, Russell? Not Russell.
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
He's got Russell Westbrook. That's it. You got,
All right, guys, this is a really important question. It goes to Britt. Britt, it's going to be two parts. One, I want you to... Well, the first question is, who has the worst hair on this team? Who has the worst hair on this team?
Oh, he's stealing my questions. He's looking.
I'm gonna have to go with Jamil.
I didn't see that. Wow. I don't know. I mean, if you ask me, Edwin, I really do think the old Maryland Bobcats, you and Dingler, you guys have the worst hair on this team. I just think it's hands down, isn't it? Isn't it, Jake?
I definitely think this is going to be a first where we've done something with a team where I've seen them kind of go after one another more than...
Well, I think Jake wants to have the worst hair on the team. He's the only League One player with a mullet.
We actually have a question for Jake.
Very nice. Hey, before you get rid of Brett, Brett, you've been part of this club, right? You're part of the soul of this whole thing. You grew up in it, grew up in the academy, playing on the pro side, training with these guys. Give us some reflections.
I mean, it's been a great experience for me, you know. I've had great coaches and just great guys around me to support me the whole time. Jordan, Drew, George, Ian, Tom, all of them helped me so much, including Darin, Nietzsche, and everyone, you know. And it's meant the world to me. I mean, I necessarily wasn't the best player growing up, but now that I've reached this point, it's like really increased my love for soccer, and I just want to go to the next level so bad.
I have one more
question.
One more. Hold it close. Hold it close.
Speech.
I mean, that kind of wraps it up. What I
Another
just
one.
said, but I mean, Tormenta is great, and I'm just grateful for everything they've done for me. So I'm really appreciative.
That's Quentin Gottlieb. He's a man who's very thoughtful anytime you give him a microphone.
Well, you know, I was just commenting to John, you know, up in Atlanta with United and everything that John works a lot with Atlanta United and does stuff. Just in stature and look and the fact out of the academy, homegrown kind of thing, you know, he reminds me a lot of Caleb Wiley, who is starting a lot for us in Atlanta United, has come so far. We're having him on the show on August 3rd. He's become a star for Atlanta United.
Yeah, it's
he
a
really
terrific
has.
story.
17-year-old kid is just doing wonders for Atlanta United. So it's awesome to see these kids coming up and doing this.
Listen, it's fantastic, and here's the reality. I mean, what Atlanta United has done for soccer in our part of the country, for the United States, it's also made the rest of the world pay attention to, if nothing else, the fan base. Atlanta United's struggled since they won the final, but, you know, I've been very fortunate in life to be in Olympic ceremonies and gold medal games and World Series games. That final that Atlanta United had several years ago was one of the single coolest sporting events I've ever seen in my life. And we've been drawing from that heartbeat and that energy all at the same time. And you know, the better they do, the better this game keeps going for us in the South. Massive legitimizer for all of us.
Yeah, we're fortunate that we get to be around that and a part of it, and it all starts from the top. It really does. So kudos to you, Darin, because what you're doing down here is the reason why we're down here. It's why these guys are playing. It's why they try and work as hard as they do. Atlanta United's the same. They worked for another Darin that just is leaving us, sadly. To go back to Newcastle, though, an amazing opportunity, in England for him. But it does. It all starts from the top. And that championship team in 2018 and that environment was almost all his doing, a lot of it. So it was amazing.
I still, one of my favorite stats, remember the World Cup final when it was in Russia, was earlier in the day, 71,000 people. And just 4 hours later, they had a regular season game and outdrew the World Cup final, mainly because they could.
That's right. That's right, yeah. I mean, we're privileged in that, but we're privileged that we're working in a sport in a state. And that's one of the things that I know we're working on in soccer down here. My company, we're working to make Georgia that state in this country, the leader in this sport. So kudos to everything you guys are doing. You're a big, huge part of that. So should I go back to Jake?
Jake Dingler. Jake, we need you on the stage, I think, for this one. Jake Dingler has never worn his hat forward. Am I wrong? Have you ever seen a time where Jake has worn with the brim in the proper front? In the air? You have to do it in the airport. Good point.
All right, this is gonna do it.
Well, and I know why Jake wears the hat backwards. It has to do with aerodynamics. When you're walking forward, you want to make sure that all of the wind goes over the top and it stays, Dingler, somebody wanted to ask who your hairstyle's modeled after. Yeah.
Just me.
Okay, so it's a Dingler.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a Dingler. All right, that was it. That was it.
Jake Dingler, everyone.
Yeah. Question came across the highest level that a Tormenta player that has come through the academy, the highest level that they have attained. Is it USL Championship?
Indy Vassilev, Premier League.
Oh, Premier League, right.
Yep.
Indiana Vassilev.
The highest in the land, and unfortunately for us, Indy played really well when we lose to Inter Miami in the Open Cup.
All right, this is specifically for all the players. So everybody, coaches, everybody, all right? It's a two-parter, right? Who's got the strangest game day routine or superstition?
Oh, that's a good one. Who does? I don't know the answer, so this will be helpful. Nature might know, but I have no idea. Is it TJ? Yeah, TJ, come answer this question for us. Do you need the question repeated? Who has the strangest game day ritual? You feel like you got one? You feel like you're on this? Okay.
No pressure.
I would say there's a couple that come to mind, but first is in very tight spaces, Pops likes to run around and can run back and forth in the locker rooms, which is reasonable. But then also Owen only listens to Bad Bunny over and over and over again. So that's another one.
Who else has some insight? Josue, you got any insight on this one? Strangest game day rituals. Gabba, you got anything? Nothing.
You know what? I want to piggyback on something we did a little while ago. This is kind of fun. Now I need some participation. Oh, we have more people coming up. Fans rushing.
Oh, very good. We've got it now, finally.
One of the strangest game day routines is Tom Morris has a superstition of having 2 Diet Mountain Dews before every game. So he makes sure that we get that.
2 exactly, not 1.
2, yeah.
2.
Yeah, he occasionally asks me to grab me a double chocolate chip cookie from the clubhouse, but apart from that, that's about it. So
I don't think he pays for the double chocolate chip cookie either. Jake Dingler loves cookies like the night before we played also.
Look at He heard his name.
That's an inside piece of information. Nobody laughed. Nobody laughed.
Okay, so that doesn't pertain to him. We can't ask that question. All right. All right, also for the players. This was asked earlier of your coach, so we're going to ask you. Which opponent do you love beating the most?
The next opponent.
Phenomenal.
You know what? Yeah, you can't top that.
Who said
Gabriel
that?
Cabral.
Raise your hand.
Right there.
Boy.
The next one.
Don't be shy about it.
NCFC is the answer.
NCFC, nice.
They're up next.
Nice. I thought I was going to get more venom out of that question. Nothing. It was nothing. They're killing each other earlier. We called them out on hair and everything. Nothing. All right.
You got a lot of questions.
We do. We have a lot. You guys have
excellent audience participation.
Hey, this plays what we were saying earlier. For the players again, what Premier League team would you want to play for?
Just shout out.
Was that Tottenham, Jake? Tottenham, we got a Tottenham. Anybody else?
Any of them.
Any of them we heard.
To go with the last answer, the next one.
Kaz is former Spurs, guys. Kaz, was there one that you wanted to play for that wasn't?
They wanted Spurs play for Ted Lasso. That's what.
You don't have one to say. Did you say?
No, I don't have new stuff coming up at the time.
That's true. Well, you go with, people grow up fans and get signed elsewhere, right? Yeah, grew up an Arsenal fan.
All right. We've got, are you good? You stay with us a little
I'm
longer?
doing well, I'm sure.
See, you all right?
The audience seems to still be here.
So you need a moment? I know. They haven't run completely off. For TJ and Jamie.
TJ and Jamie. You need them up on the stage, or are we just going to hear it from the audience?
I'm always up for getting on the stage.
TJ and Jamie, come on up,
there's our guy from over on the right.
Yeah.
In the box. Why do I feel this is going to disappoint when I get up here? All right, gentlemen. Who do you like better? Coach Pablo or teammate Pablo?
I'm gonna say teammate Pablo for sure. That's my guy.
I'm seconding that.
Teammate Pablo, the audience at home was having trouble hearing that. Teammate Pablo. I don't think that was a hard question.
All right, we're gonna
it is a small and known fact. Pablo Hara is the probably the only player coach in the league. Kara Fitzgerald is too. Yes. Good insight, Kara Fitzgerald.
All right, 2 more questions, and thanks to everybody who's come out here tonight, the Wild Wing, and prepared everybody for the national championship game tomorrow night for Tormenta's women against Minnesota Aurora.
You can keep clapping every time he says it.
And also the game at Irk Russell tomorrow night with Tormenta and North Carolina FC. Saturday, whatever game of the week it is. All right, so for Britton Gottlieb. Britton Gottlieb, question for Britton.
Take it up for Britton.
So Britton, if you would please, wander on back up. In lieu of a speech, we have a question. No, in lieu of a speech. First off, congrats for signing to FIU.
Appreciate it.
How are you feeling about leaving Tormenta and making the step to college? What have you learned from your time here?
I mean, I'm really excited to go to Miami, honestly. Like, I'm ready to go, but what I've learned from Tormenta is just, how to be a better person, a better player, and I've just learned so many different skills and just different moments in my life that have helped me now. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying I'm just ready to go to Miami, and that Tormenta has helped me in so many different ways. They've helped me, obviously I've been here since I was in the 7th grade, so it's really helped me as a player and as a person, just helped me to get to that next step in my life.
Well done, Brett.
And I guess we're going to wrap on this question. And this is probably the most important question, Darin, it's for you. But actually, it's not. It involves you, but it's not for you. I don't know if you get a choice in it, but we were asked to ask you, should you pay for everybody's stuff tonight?
Should I pay for everybody's stuff tonight?
I said food, but I'm not.
Yeah, this is a really easy question.
I'm an equal opportunity.
Well, Nature and I paid for their breakfast and lunch, airline tickets. Tonight they're on their own. Tonight they're on their own. But I am paying for all of your stuff.
Well, good night.
Hey, let me say this: if that was the last question, I know you're going to try to wrap up. Guys, we got to really think. We had a lot of our fans come out tonight. They even got here before you guys showed up. Can we give them a big round of applause? We got a lot of fans in the audience. This is a community that's won a lot of championships at the high school and collegiate level. We've never won a championship at the pro level before. We certainly haven't won any soccer championships. Our women give us a first shot at that. And we very much will be disappointed with anything other than a championship at League One. But it's so fun not just to create pros on the field and pros in the front office, but the professional fan base that's showing up too. It's really gratifying.
Absolutely.
I got to give you one quick memory too.
Uh-oh.
The first time I ever listened to Soccer Down Here.
Yeah?
Nitra and I were in our kitchen, and you did an interview with one of the young academy products at Atlanta United. It was James Brighton, who came from our academy. He was one of our 99 boys.
Yep.
Teammate of our son. That's why we're close to James. James played our first year ever back in those PDL, now League 2 games. Went on to Clemson and won a national title. I thought, for us at the time, I really, this was like making a SportsCenter top 10. This was like being on 60 Minutes. It was it meant so much to us that Tormenta's name we could hear on a podcast. It was a big deal for us. And now we've come in here and we've done this. What a journey, and you guys really have been here from the beginning. You've made us feel a part of what you're doing. I listen to the show. I'm a fan, is what people say. But you've always given us the time of day. You recognize what we're doing. It matters so much, and thanks for being here.
No, thanks for having us, Darin. It's great to see the growth of South Georgia Tormenta, the Tormenta Magenta. And thanks to all of the players who've come up here tonight. We want to talk to Patrick before we go from Wild Wing. But thanks to all the players who've been great sports, everybody in the front office who's been great sports tonight. EP, thanks for your co-hosting duties, and for making sure that that your partner here on the table didn't go empty-handed.
Yeah, now go find his brothers and sisters somewhere, wherever that is. So, Russell Westbrook, everybody, Russell Westbrook.
But before we go, we wanted to get a quick shout out from our friends here at Wild Wing.
Yeah, it's Patrick out there from Wild Wings.
Patrick!
Put the vodka down. Come sit with us, Patrick.
Patrick, go on ahead and hang out with Scott. Patrick has been our major domo in making sure that everything worked here tonight. And when you're dealing with me, that's a tall order, trust me. As technologically challenged as I am, as technologically challenged as I am, everybody here's been great. Thanks for putting up with us, thanks for having us, and thanks for hosting us here tonight. Scott, I mean, you got here long before I did.
Yeah, we had some original plans for the show tonight, and those original plans we just couldn't do. It was something very unique. And so I got with Darin, and I was like, should we just change? And we'll come down another time and do like, and Darin was absolutely not, and I'm going to find a place. And within a couple of hours, he said, I got a place, I know where we're going, because they treat us well and they do well. So, from us, with the show doing this tonight, the place is awesome. We have them obviously in Atlanta, but this is a great location. Take a second and just tell us about some of the things that you got coming up, some of the things that Wild Wings is doing. You're looking at me like you have no idea what they're going to be doing. But like just some of the things that Wild Wings specializes in and wants to encourage for their patrons, their customers, to come back and do stuff like this with Tormenta.
All right, guys, so yeah, we've done a whole lot of stuff. We are under new ownership. We have replaced and added TVs to this place, better TVs at that. We also have I'm gonna say rooftop bar, if you will, above the patio area over here to our left. That's gonna be opening soon. We don't know, is it gonna be a smoking bar? Is it gonna be for events only? Is it gonna be, we're not real sure. A lot of ideas in the air on that. Aside from that though, we've got lots of great entertainment, which was not a thing before. Here on the stage, we've got live music every Friday and Saturday for sure, sometimes every Thursday, and occasionally on Wednesdays and Sundays too. We like to support local talent. If you know anyone, let us know. That's all I can think of for now.
That a boy.
Now, thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for making sure that this came off as swimmingly as possible. Once again, thanks to Wild Wing Cafe here in Statesboro. Thanks to our friends at Kickoff Coffee, Kickoff Coffee CO, kickoffcoffeeco.com on the web. Social media, it's Twitter, it's Facebook, and it's the IG or the Gram. What do the kids call it these days? The Insta. So Kickoff Coffee, fantastic coffee. Use the code soccer down here, 15% off your purchase for Kickoff Coffee. 10% of the proceeds help out youth development. So everything there for Kickoff Coffee helps out youth development. Soccer down here, 15 is your code. And our friends at Eliminize for being great friends with us as well. Scott Flood, the Flood Project, you and Jen did great work to get down here to make sure that the runway was clear for me so I could mess it all up when I got here. But thanks to all the work that you guys do. Next stop for us is Red here on the 3rd, right?
Yeah, in Atlanta, we are going to have Caleb Wiley from Atlanta United along with their academy director, Matt Laurie, that's going to be out, and several of those folks. I'm just going to take one quick second. Darin,
Thank you so much for having us.
Yep.
This is exactly why we do this. Seeing these young men and knowing what those young women are about to do up in Minnesota. This is why we do it. This is why we love it. We're not the biggest thing, but we're your biggest fans to begin with. We couldn't be more happy to be here. I know Jason is sorely disappointed that he couldn't be here, but we will be back soon. Gentlemen, congratulations for everything so far and to everything that's coming to you. I don't know who's going to have the best here by the time we come back, or if Russell Westbrook will have retired, or if Greenville will get any love ever in this city.
Not in this city.
But it was a pleasure being here. Thank you so much, everybody.
Finish your meals. Thanks a lot, everybody here in Statesboro. Mucha plata, y'all.
Mucha plata.